an unpredictable finisher.
And these fighters are not taking their eyes off one another.
You know, Matos already the welterweight champion, but you could argue this is the biggest fight of his career, to face someone like Bruno Santos, who's, you know, been up and down the mountain. Someone as explosive and as powerful as Santos. Huge opportunity.
Huge, huge. This is a big fight for him. Moving up a weight class, fighting a UFC veteran.
In your career, do you find it more difficult to move up or move down in a weight class?
I mean, each has its own downfalls, but moving up, listen, the guys are bigger. They can take bigger shots. There's more power. They're taller, right? But that doesn't seem to be the issue for Matos tonight.
You can just see the huge disparity in height, 7 inches. 6'3" stands Matos.
And 7-inch reach advantage for Matos as well.
So it goes back to what you said. Santos has to get Matos to the ground.
I think that's where he's going to have to go. And Matos is real loose. He uses his length well.
I mean, both of their submission games so strong. We mentioned Matos, 7 finishes.
And there's the
via
body
the rear
lock.
naked choke.
There's the body lock. This is going to be a huge tell for this fight.
Lex McMahon in the corner for Santos. Unfortunately, there were a number of horrible storms in South Florida that kept a number of people from making it over here.
Right, so we've got Bruno Santos with no corner, and we have Will Brooks as well with no corner.
Yeah.
And we've got our guy Lex McMahon there. So we've got promoter, fighter, and now cornerman Lex McMahon.
All hands on deck.
I mean, he's making us look bad.
Santos going for the takedown, and
he's going to triangle those legs. And he's smart. He's fighting those hands, not letting Matos post on them. He's got head over head. He's just got to get his back off the fence, and he's got it.
Matos keenly aware.
Yeah, he's trying to turn him off that fence.
And you could argue, too, this is by far the biggest test for Matos in his career. Yes, he's 10-1, 100% finish percentage, but has he really faced someone like Bruno Santos?
Oh, absolutely not. And there's the back off the fence, and we are now in Bruno Santos's world.
Halfway through round 1, not the position Matos would like to be in. Bruno landed a couple of right hands there. I'm sorry, I apologize, left hands.
But you can see that Matos is being patient. He's just looking for his opening.
You don't see any panic out of Matos.
Sneaky little elbow there by Matos. High guard.
It appeared that Matos was thinking triangle for a brief second, but...
And then Bruno just goes back down and secures those hips.
And he's got such a strong base, does Santos. And now raining down a couple of right hands. They're right up against the cage in front of us. A couple of those landed well. Matos doing everything to fight Santos off.
And Bruno's, he's creating that distance now. He's head over head. That's the worst spot to be in when you're on your back. He's creating that distance. He's freeing his wrists. He's getting shots off. And you see Matos is grabbing those wrists now. He knows. He knows Bruno has the position to hit him.
Oh, he knows he's a few strikes away.
Dangerous up kicks by Matos. He's got long legs.
Final minute of round 1, and Santos. Ooh.
And a role reversal here.
Listen to the appreciation from everyone in Santo Domingo. And now, Matos with the mount.
He waited for his opportunity, and he took it.
But was it enough to take the first round? That's the question.
Let's see what kind of damage he can get off here. Big elbow by Matos. Big elbow.
Another.
And Bruno's just holding him. Little damage control here to close out the round.
Right, Matos with a very strong finish, landing a couple of elbows, but was it enough? You know, Santos probably had a good 3+ minutes of control time in that first round.
And this is where that ring rust is going to come in, right? Was Bruno too tight, right? Was he able to pace himself, control his breathing?
You know, Santos is now 35. The last time he fought was over 3 years ago.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Ring rust is definitely a real thing.
As we await round 2, once again, thank you to OnlyFans, our new sponsor. Very excited to be teaming up as we check out some of the action from round 1. And, you know, Santos really had Matos on the ropes for a couple of moments. But this was the transition.
Right, and he made the most of it, right? And you can see the difference in styles. When Bruno gets on top, he's methodical. Yes, he landed shots, but he's not bombs away like Matos. When Matos is in a position to hurt you, he is going to go for it.
Yeah.
That is the difference here with these two guys. Santos is going to have to stay on top of this kid for the entire fight if he wants to win.
Well, we know Santos is no stranger to going the distance. 16 of his 18 victories via decision. Make no mistake about it, Santos would love to have this comeback fight end with a knockout.
Ooh. There's a great counter right hand off the clinch. Matos, I don't know, seems to be a little fatigued here. Great jab by Bruno. Great shot.
Oh, Santos shooting in for the takedown, and Matos able to shield. Santos not going to let up, though.
No. Matos looking for the switch.
Oh.
Great inside leg trip.
Beautiful.
And I think we're starting to see the separation and grappling skills here.
Santos knows this is his bread and butter. He's got to get the mount position. He's got to establish control time. That's what he did for the most of first round.
Now, I don't know if Matos was just baiting him in, but he did look a little bit slower at the beginning of that round.
When you're facing a machine like Santos, conditioning can play a huge factor. Our co-main event, Bruno Santos, Carlos Matos, middleweight division.
Look, Matos has to work from the bottom here, right? The opportunity he got in the last round, he may not get that again. He has to create his own opportunities from here. But Bruno is just finding that positioning. He's finding that base, creating that separation. He's going to start to land again.
Thus far, round 2 kind of mirroring round 1 for Santos.
Controlling the ankles.
And Santos is certainly going for strikes when available.
Yeah, he's doing enough to keep this fight on the ground. I mean, credit to Matos. He's controlling the wrists when he's in trouble, right? He's doing a lot to make sure that he's not getting any damage, but at the same time, he's losing this fight.
Yeah. Santos landing a few lefts there.
And note, this is the first time that Matos is out of the first round.
Yeah. That's where the grit has to kick in, especially someone with the conditioning of Santos. Final 2 minutes of round 2. As we mentioned, Matos, 6 first-round finishes, 100% finish percentage in his career. 7 of those victories being a rear naked choke, whereas Santos, 16 wins via decision.
Bruno is doing such a good job of taking away that whatever arm he frames with Matos that he puts on the ground. You got to put your hands on the ground to get up.
Yeah.
He does a great job of taking that away.
And we knew coming in, Santos said, he said, look, I feel like I have the dominant ground game. You know, he's calling his shot, and thus far it's been effective. Much like earlier with Luis Rodriguez. He's going for the rear naked. He locked it in. That was it.
Yeah, if Santos gets in a position here, dominant position, side control mount, I would bet that he's going to go and lock something in.
Santos has essentially been in mount for over 3 minutes now of the second round.
And
look at Matos, though, fighting back to his feet.
He's checking the clock, but hey, you got to focus. There's a guy on your legs right now.
Yeah.
Great pressure by Bruno Santos.
Ooh. Matos realizing that this second round certainly has not gone his way. That'll do it. We're heading to a third and final round.
Now the question really is it 1 round apiece? Or is it 2 for Bruno?
In your eyes, what would you say? Because Matos had a very impressive final minute to 90 seconds of round 1.
Right. It's up in the air, but I'll honestly have to give it to Bruno. I mean, the reversal was great by Matos, but the top control was a solid 3 minutes or so. And he worked from the top. He landed shots as well.
And for Bruno, he's relying on technique, which is really what he's done throughout his career. 16 decision victories out of his 18 wins. Not flashy, but effective.
He knows exactly what he's doing right now, and he is in his element. This is the fight that Bruno Santos wanted.
Yeah. And it really goes into, experience, intelligence. Amanda Nunes told him for a reason to come back.
Definitely.
And this is a big night for Bruno. He said he's taking this fight very seriously because I think he realizes, once he's 35, how much time do you really have left? You want to make the most of it.
Right, and I think that if you look at Matos' eyes, he's got a different look than when he first walked out.
Yeah. Round 3. Middleweight battle in our co-main event live on UFC Fight Pass. Matos in the blue, Santos in the black.
And Matos is looking for that one shot.
Santos, meanwhile, being very patient. Do you feel like we need to see a little bit of risk-taking here by Matos?
100%. He needs to know that he may be down 2 rounds to none. Great counter by Bruno. And Bruno needs to not let Matos stay in that middle range. And there he goes for the takedown. He needs to threaten him with those takedowns, whether he gets them or not.
Oh, another left lands by Santos.
You can see those 2 rounds wearing on Matos now.
Matos, once again, the top-ranked welterweight in the Caribbean, but moved up a weight class to fight middleweight tonight. Another takedown attempt. Once again, Matos successfully able to shield. That's 2 in a row here.
Still a lot of time on the clock with 3.5 minutes.
For the most part in this fight, the reach advantage has not really come into play for Matos, but that kick grazed the face at the very least.
And Bruno's content with standing with him. And he's landing too.
At the same time, Santos has to realize he's probably one takedown away from securing a decision.
Right. And we know that Matos is dangerous on the feet. He's also one strike away from losing this fight. So if I was him, I would cut that distance.
Right hand comes up empty for Santos. Oh, there's a powerful attempt in it. Oh, and he got him. Matos tried to fight it off, but it's just the bull rush of Santos that was too much to overcome.
Yeah, and I mean, given how the earlier parts of this fight have went, you can maybe count on Bruno finishing the fight here.
Under 2 minutes left in the third and final round, and this is exactly where Santos spent most of the first 2 rounds.
And great performance from the 35-year-old.
Yes.
Great performance. This is a young, dangerous kid he's fighting. 10-1, 10 finishes.
He's been completely dominant in his career thus far.
And here's the mount position this late in the fight. Matos is tired. You've got a black belt on top of you.
This is really a moral victory, too, for Santos. I mean, first fight in over 3 years. And he's going all the way to possibly a decision.
Right, fighting an explosive guy. Matos showed some skill on the ground, too. He's no slouch. This was an impressive win.
Final minute, Santos in control here. Landed some lefts and now switching over to the right. And Matos really not able to defend those.
Yeah, I think Bruno knows he's going to ride off into the sunset with this one. Crowd not too happy about it.
Well, they've had a lot to cheer for tonight, but this outcome may not be it. Santo Domingo loves their homegrown stars, but Bruno Santos has really fought an impressive battle tonight. And these last 2 minutes, I mean, he's really been dominating.
Yeah, I mean, getting mount, controlling the fight. I mean, Matos hasn't even really bridged, and this is his first attempt to get out.
One final flurry by Matos. Wow, what a takedown to close out the fight.
And Matos with his hands in the air saying that Bruno didn't win.
Well, both fighters feeling good about their performance, but the question is, what will the judges say? It really was a tale of Santos being in control time for a good portion of all 3 rounds.
Right. Well, I mean, if we have another Tommy La Salsa Garcia situation here, I'm not going to be able to hold my tongue for that one.
Well, in your opinion, though, yes, I'm with you. I think Cardona fought the stronger fight, but I almost feel like this was even more one-sided for Santos.
This was a lopsided fight, 100%. I mean, you could argue that Matos controlled some of the striking in the earlier parts of the round, of the first round.
Santos had a great, I apologize, Matos had a great flurry in the final 90 seconds of round 1, but the last 2 rounds was essentially mostly Santos.
Yes, Santos has controlled this fight and really, really effectively controlled it. He's moved for positioning. He ground and pounded as well. He wasn't just holding the spot. So, I mean, I think this is a clear win for Bruno, but you never know. You know, Matos did have some explosive outbursts, and he also cut, if I believe, right? Bruno's cut under his right eye?
Yeah, I believe it was the kick that Matos landed.
Look at this double leg, though.
Yeah, that was a emphasis to close out the fight. All right, it appears the judge's decision is in. Let's find out.
And your winner, after 3 rounds by unanimous decision, the winner, Bruno Carioca Santos.
Well, Mike, that was how we saw it. Unanimous decision victory for Bruno Santos, moving